Oh my goodness, we're at the last week of class. Oh, so sad. I know you're happy. I don't gotta be sad, so I'm a little sad. By now, you've probably just worn yourselves out trying to complete the group project. So, the good thing is, I'm sorry, for week 8, I'm on the wrong week, that's the problem. Week 8 of the last week of class, you have a paper, a discussion, and a final. So, as if last week wasn't jam-packed, we're going to really go out with a bang here. And we're going to have, I'm just going to go ahead over your discussion. I'm going to go over your discussion first and save the paper for last. Because we kind of know what the discussions, most everyone's getting A's on discussions. Most students are at this point. So basically what we're going to talk about is the WARN Act. And basically the pros and cons to the act. So basically the WARN Act is a law that requires employers to give 60 days of advance notice before plant closing or a mass layoff. If you Google that, you could find it at a government site on that, the dol.gov. There's going to be some information on there. So just look that law up and tell me, read it and tell me what the pros and cons are to it. You can talk about who it protects, who it doesn't protect. Try to talk about all aspects of it. Give me the employee aspect. Give me the employer aspect. Okay, so that, and then there's a final exam. That is 40 multiple choice questions. It's 120 minutes to complete the quiz. The quiz covers chapters 1 through 7 and emphasizes chapters 8 through 14. I'm going to tell you how these exams work. This is what the exams are is a huge test bank of different questions. Everyone usually has a different test. Usually, the way I have it set up is it's random. So it's not going to be the same set of questions every time. And as a matter of fact, if you took the test and for some reason had to retake the test, the next test would have different questions. So that's how it works. And then you've got your 8 homework, your position paper. I answer the following question. What is meant by the statement, conducting business globally exposes U.S. companies to an environment involving bribery that they are not exposed to in the United States? Beyond the question above, consider the following. Not having the ability to use bribery as a tool of doing business has been costly for American companies. According to a U.S. Commerce Department report, competition for 47 contracts worth $18 billion may have been affected by bribes that foreign firms pay to foreign officials. Because U.S. companies do not participate, the department estimates that at least 8 of those contracts worth $3 billion were lost to them. It was a very interesting topic, especially in light of the last, decade with all of the corruption with, the real estate industry, unethical practices, giving loans, companies like Enron, this is in light of all of the issues here at home, which has really caused some major problems here. And then you have this topic of, well, what about now that we're doing business in other countries where there's a lot more shadier dealings as far as, ethical business practices? Are we missing out, or are we in the right, and why? You're going to have to talk about, obviously it's telling you, well, it's costing us this much money in contracts, but what are we gaining by not being, with bribery, or are we? Or are you going to talk about, finding examples of where we aren't necessarily operating in the most ethical ways with other companies in other countries? So this is a very open, the positions that you can take here are many without giving too much away. So submit a 2-page position paper with 2 references, defend or disagree with the position. And obviously I'm hoping I don't get too many of one, because honestly, there's so many ways to look at this. I think you could easily defend or disagree with it. Um, there's always a thing. Well, yeah, I mean, bribery's wrong, but if they're doing it, how are we going to compete? If they're doing it, should we do it? Obviously, there's that argument, and there's obviously the other side of that. So, again, I don't want to influence your argument by saying too much, but you see where I'm going here. There's just a lot of ways to look at this, and I'm sure that once you read these, you'll immediately have some feelings about what kind of stance that you want to take, and then you obviously will do the research to kind of support your position. So I'm trying to download this rubric. Excuse me, my computer just doesn't pop it up for me anymore. I don't know what's wrong with it. Okay, so content development. 2 pages, 2 references, minimum. That's minimum. Full pages, not one and a half pages. 2 full pages, margin to margin. And obviously you're going to take a position. Okay, so substance, you're taking the position, you're sourcing it. You're giving me, I want you to give me sources that support whatever stance you're taking, along with, if you can provide examples as well, that's fine. That's great. Whatever can make your paper have more depth to it when you're taking a position is going to be to your advantage when it comes to grading. Paper displays students' ability to correctly process and integrate material from lectures and readings. I mean, obviously, you're going to, you've taken a stance. You're talking about, I don't know, maybe you're talking about different companies. You're talking about different things. You've got your sources, and you're going to say this author you're going to put your sourced material in a logical order of your argument in the paper. So whatever you're arguing, and then you're going to take your source and go, well, this source, blah, 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 and whatever citation states that. But this one might have a counterpoint. I want to see a flow of integration, a better integration of sources in the papers. Mechanics, structure, APA format, paragraphs indented, double spacing, running heads, title page. Reference page is separate. References, the title references is centered. No works cited, because works cited is used in MLA format. Page numbers. I'm looking for a properly formatted APA style document. Go to the OWL at Purdue. Look up the APA sample paper. They've got a sample paper that you can look and model yours after as far as format. That's about it. And that is the last big assignment that you have before this class is over. So after you're done with this, throw yourself a party and take a deep breath and relax. So that's all. It's been a pleasure being your instructor this term. For those of you that I've got to communicate kind of often, it's been great, and I'm really glad I got the chance to kind of hear your voice. And for those that I've corresponded with over text and got to read your biographies and stuff, I wish you all the best of luck, and happy Halloween if you celebrate that, and otherwise just have a nice fall. And maybe I'll see you in another course. Sometimes I teach business ethics, sometimes I teach other HR courses. So you never know. Compensation benefits is one I've taught before. So you never know. I might see you again. And I hope you've enjoyed this class and learned something you can use in your career now or in the future. Thanks a lot, and have a great week.